What's happening, guys? It's the Club the Man 1993 coming at you for another live Raw review. We're going to review the Raw that took place on the August 7th, 2017 edition of Raw. It took place in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And overall, this Raw was kind of average. It wasn't really terrible, but it wasn't really that exciting either. Not too many things I enjoyed. I enjoyed some things, but a lot of stuff, it was just there. Again, it wasn't terrible, but it could have been a little bit better than what we got. And some of the stuff was a little bit predictable on the most part. But still, decent episode of Raw. Not terrible, but nothing really that noteworthy happened. So let's get right into the review. We start off with a Miz TV segment. Originally, the Miz didn't want to start the show until Jason Jordan came out there as they continued to heat and a probable Intercontinental Championship match between Jason Jordan and the Miz. And then Kurt Angle comes out to the "You Suck" chants, and he pretty much tells the Miz, "Hey, we're not going to have Jason come out here. He has to prepare for his match later against one of the Miz Taraj members, Curtis Axel." He said, "However, though, I have a guest for you." And out comes Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. They come down, of course, Miz with my hand goes up, your hand goes down, Boulder Dash. And this whole time the Miz is ripping into Brock Lesnar about how you're going to probably lose the Universal title at SummerSlam, blame this on Paul Heyman, blah, blah, blah. While this is going on, Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman are just talking amongst themselves, and just pretty much just no one trashes Brock Lesnar, because if you trash Brock Lesnar, you're getting punished big time. And after the Miz finally says his piece, pretty much saying you're going to be the next world champion and Universal champion, you're going to be leaving WWE, and Heyman takes the microphone and says, "Let's play a roll call here. Let me see who was who. The Miz is Roman Reigns. Bo Dallas is Samoa Joe, and Axel is Braun Strowman." And thanks to that role play, he says, "Let's see a little bit of a preview for SummerSlam." And Brock Lesnar just takes out the whole Miz Taraj. Took out Axel, Dallas, Miz, German suplexes, several F5s, and he laid them out. So, it was a good beatdown, but it's against guys like, the Miz, who felt important on SmackDown, not as important on Raw. And again, Axel and Bo Dallas, who are at least finally getting something to do. But it was a decent beatdown. It wasn't my favorite beat I've ever seen by Brock Lesnar, but Brock Lesnar pretty much just did the same thing, saying the message to the other three guys, Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, and Samoa Joe, that hey, this is gonna be you guys at SummerSlam, but we'll wait and see what happens next week on Raw. And by the way, also, I saw that the new graphics for SummerSlam, it looks like they changed them up just a little bit, which I was kind of happy, because I didn't really like the SummerSlam graphics they had so far this year. It looked like they made them look like they were fighting in like a back alley or something. It looked like just like garbage to me. So they kind of brightened them up a little bit, as SummerSlam is the biggest event of the summer. So brighten them up a little bit. Just from my standpoint, honest opinion, but I'm glad they fixed that. We then have a match between Seth Rollins and Sheamus. All right match. it was the same thing that happened last week, pretty much the same match, except afterwards, Rollins lost thanks to a distraction by Cesaro. They beat down Seth. But Dean Ambrose did not come out to save Seth Rollins, which shows, okay, there really is tension here. And Dean's not going to keep just running out there because, he secretly feels bad. He's making a statement saying, hey, I really don't trust Rollins, and to make this even more interesting. And after the match, Rollins takes on them, and then after he gets beat down, he goes into the back, and he runs into Dean, and Dean pretty much said, Leslie, I told you so. Don't put yourself in that situation. I'm not going to come out there again. I hear a lesson, went like a jerk, but now this time I know I am a jerk. And then Seth pretty much said that he is a jerk, and he's been trying to prove he's changed. It's been 3 years. Move on. And then pretty much he just said, I'm done trying to, convince you that I'm a changed person. I just need to move on. Just, blah, 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 all that stuff. Pretty much just Rollins accepting that Dean Ambrose just wasn't going to accept his apology, and then Ambrose said, "We better not show up later because I'm going to fight Cesaro alone, and that's how I will be alone." And then after that, we have a backstage promo with Angle being asked by the trainer if Axe will be ready to go. He said no, and he grabs his random jobber to go out and fight his son, Jason Jordan. And he goes out there, and it's pretty much just a squash match. And yeah, not really much to say about this. I mean, if you're going to have Jason Jordan go after the Intercontinental title right away, after you had him doing, well, let's say this way, it's not as bad as Jinder Mahal chasing after the WWE Championship after being a no-name for so long. But Jason Jordan wasn't really, getting much momentum on SmackDown Live after him and Gable dropped the SmackDown tag titles. And then what's really hurting him right now is a lot of people aren't really giving them a good reaction is because, I hate to admit, I mean, I feel like that this angle with Kurt Angle being his father, could give him some momentum, could give him something to do. It kind of is. But right now, he's not really, getting over with the crowd as well because the revealing of him being Kurt Angle's illegitimate son didn't really live up to the hype that people thought they were going to get out of this announcement. I think that's what's been really hurting at Jordan's reaction so far. But it looks like we're still building towards the Intercontinental Championship match between Jason Jordan and The Miz at SummerSlam, even though I feel like they could do a little bit more, not just have, Jordan squashing jobbers like Kurt Hawkins or whatever the heck this guy's name was, just give something better to do. But was that. The revealing breaking news of Bayley being out for SummerSlam due to her shoulder injury. And also another injury was announced today. Now Scott Dawson of the Revival hurt his bicep or oblique. I can't remember what he hurt. He could be out indefinitely as well. Well, Bayley's playing about 2 to 3 months. I heard Dawson could be out like 4 to 6 months. So the Revival can't catch a break on the main roster yet. Such a shame. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with them. And then, so it was announced that they're going to have 2 triple threat matches tonight to determine a new number 1 contender for SummerSlam. Well, the winners will face off in a singles match next week for a number 1 contendership. And the first match was Sasha Banks versus Alicia Fox and Emma. Before the match started, Bayley came out as pretty much addressing, she's frustrated, but she will be back, and she can pick one person to replace her. It would be her best friend, Sasha Banks. Sasha comes out, gives Bayley a hug, and then she has a decent match, but it was obvious that we knew Sasha was going to win this match against Alicia Fox and Emma. She won by getting the bank statement submission on Emma, and Sasha was on. Kind of obvious there. We knew that was going to happen. We have a backstage promo. Renee asks why the last man standing match against Roman Reigns is for Braun Strowman. Braun simply says he likes hurting him, and his yard is his playground. Then we have another in-ring promo with Enzo and Big Show. In the ring, Enzo talks up Big Show, and Big Show talks about how Cass needs to learn respect. Then they are interrupted by Anderson and Gallows, leads to a tag match between these two, which, didn't really care too much. And then after the match, Big Cass came down to the ring. Well, they're during the ring. Oh, sorry, I got a little tired for a second. But Gallows and Anderson won after pinning Enzo, continuing to make Enzo look like a loser. To the match, Big Cass attacks and he eventually gets knocked out by Big Show, and I am slowly losing interest in this feud. It just really hasn't done anything for anybody. It's been really slow. I think it was all right, but then last week with that main event match between Big Show and Big Cass, and then the ending to it, this has been the main event. Plus, it's just getting so repetitive. Like, it doesn't feel like anything's going anywhere. Big Cass is now constantly getting knocked out by the Big Show. Enzo's just his little lunatic sidekick who just he's all talk, but he doesn't do anything about it in the ring because I just continue not to see any singles future for Enzo Amore, unfortunately. So I'm slowly losing interest in this feud, and this was kind of boring. It's making me tired and putting me to sleep. But then we'll have an announcement about this more later. We'll get to that. We then have Finn Balor having an in-ring promo talking about Bray Wyatt. It's pretty much how Bray Wyatt doesn't care about winning or losing. He just wants to hurt people. And honestly, he gives him the creeps. But then he said he wants if Bray wants to start with him again, Vin's going to finish it. And he wanted to attempt to play his own game. Bray then shows up in the middle of the ring, and the brawl begins. And, Balor had Bray set up for a drop kick in the corner, but then Bray disappears and goes back onto to the screen, and it says, like, run, playing his mind games after Finn tried playing Bray's own game. Still an interesting little segment. It's building towards an interesting match that should be happening at SummerSlam, which I believe it was made official. Bray Wyatt versus Finn Balor, hopefully the Demon Finn Balor at SummerSlam. So I look forward to seeing that happening as well. We then have Dean Ambrose versus Cesaro with Sheamus. And, this is a good match between these two. I'll be honest, in order to make this night a little more interesting with the whole Rollins and Ambrose storyline, they should have had Ambrose face Sheamus and Rollins face Cesaro, since Rollins and Sheamus happened last week. But Ambrose and Cesaro put on a really strong match here. Of course, you can't deny the talent and the agility of Cesaro. As I keep saying, he's a main eventer, but he's just not getting his title shot yet. But he had a couple of good spots. There's one spot wherever Ambrose was hanging over the second rope, and he takes his big wicked elbow from Cesaro. I don't understand why they don't make that like his finisher, one of those elbows, because those are some of the most violent elbows you'll ever see. Those come flying out of nowhere, pow, just nail you right on the jaw. But then and then Ambrose wins, though, as he gets the pinfall on Cesaro. After the match, Sheamus comes in, and him and Cesaro beat down on him. And then Seth Rollins came out and pretty much attacked both Sheamus and Cesaro, getting them off. And he had a little stare down with Dean Ambrose. So like they were about to reconcile there. The crowd was on their feet chanting yes, hoping that this is a Shield reunion. And then Dean Ambrose puts his fist in, pretty much, just like they used to, and then Rollins is about to put it in too, but then Rollins walks away, and I'm thinking, whoa, what's going to be next for these guys? They still don't have a match at SummerSlam. Are they going to try to get the Raw tag titles? But it's showing that, Rollins is like, okay, you kept saying all night you're being a jerk and just saying you don't want to make up with me. We're not going to, just, let bygones be bygones and move on from what happened 3 years ago. But then, of course, Rollins not going to take, Ambrose back right away. Obviously, we're going to continue next week as maybe we'll get a tag match official for the Raw Tag Team Championships. Dean Ambrose does have a pinfall victory now over Cesaro. You can argue, so let's see what happens. But still very interesting stuff here we got tonight between Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. We're going to get a video package of Akira Tozawa winning his title shot for SummerSlam on 205 Live. Didn't really care. And the Titus brand celebrating the title shot with Titus and Apollo. And Neville comes in and says he is scouting competition. If Akira Tozawa ends up being that competition, he destroyed Daivari championship dreams. So now tonight he's going up against a man that has nothing to lose, which is another match with Arya Daivari. I still do not understand why all of a sudden they're giving Daivari a little bit of a push. I don't really care for him. I didn't really care for this match. Tozawa got the win through pinfall. And again, the same match that happened last week. Did not really care. We then have a backstage promo with Renee Young talking to Roman Reigns about Brock Lesnar. He says that he doesn't watch Miz TV and he doesn't care about Brock Lesnar. So then he asks about the Last Man Standing match tonight. And he says tonight won't be anything different from SummerSlam. He will be the Last Man Standing. And of course, again, he mentions that he retired the Undertaker as well, which does not make sense. Why on earth, if you want people to like this guy, why do you keep having him talk about something that happened? People are going to boo. It's just crazy why they're doing this. They just don't know what they want from, they talk about reactions. Well, we're supposed to like this guy, but then he's doing stuff we hate. It just doesn't make any sense at all. And then we had the second triple threat match of the night. And it was Mickie James versus Nia Jax and Dana Brooke. and Nia Jax won, and I'm not really looking forward to this number one contenders match next week. I've seen Sasha and Nia fight how many times? It's pretty obvious that, Sasha's going to win, which I wanted her to win the opportunity and probably take the title off of Alexa Bliss at SummerSlam. But, to see her go up against Nia again, it's like, why can't they give anybody else a chance? I wanted Mickie James to win this match because, think about this. You bring back Mickie James, a former Women's and Divas champion, and you bring her back and she's a complete joke. Like, at this point, why did you even bring her back in the first place if you're going to treat her like a joke like this? It was a squash match, this whole match. Like, Nia squashed Nia. I mean, wow, Nia squashed Nia. You can tell I'm tired. Nia squashed Dana and Mickie pretty much. They didn't got any offense on her at all. I understand you're trying to build a new star, but we've seen Sasha and Nia go at it how many times? I wish it would have been Sasha and Mickie for next week, but whatever. That's the case. So it was kind of boring. We then had two backstage segments. First, we had Big Cass going to Kurt Angle, begging for a match against Big Show at SummerSlam, but then he was more begging, somehow keep Enzo Amore out of this match because he's just, causing interference, and he wants to take care of Big Show one-on-one. So then he's like, oh, keep him out of the arena, keep him out of New York City, just keep him as far away from as possible, just lock him up. But then, of course, that's when, the WWE has fallen in love with the shark cage ever since they had Paul Ellering in a shark cage. They had Chris Jericho go into a shark cage at Royal Rumble, and now they're having Enzo Amore go into a shark cage in his match, in a match with Big Show and Big Cass. Why are we, as a babyface general manager, punishing a babyface wrestler in Enzo Amore? Why is he being in the shark cage? Why make it like a steel cage match or something like that if you wanted that to be the case? Or just ban him from ringside, and if you come in, you get fired or whatever. But whatever it is, not really looking forward to the match because they've done a poor job building up this feud. But then something I did kind of enjoy was the return of Goldust's director's chair promos, as I talked about the other day on my Superstar Shakeup post SummerSlam preview. I am just really in love with what they've been doing with Goldust and these director's chair promos. If you're a reminder, my favorite one was, R-Truth thinks that he can sit in my director's chair? Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Gone with the Wind, 1939. And, those promos. But Goldust pretty much said that, miss me, I'm getting ready for my next motion picture. Who will be the next hero? Who will be my next villain? You'll find out at SummerSlam. So I'm really interested to see what happens here. Again, I've been really invested in Goldust even more ever since he turned heel. I mean, his feud with R-Truth, it was interesting until their last match, and now it was kind of flat. But I hope they move Goldust on to do better things. Like, again, I keep saying, even though he's like in his late 40s now, he deserves like one last big mid-card push, maybe around the Intercontinental title or the United States Championship if they do have the post SummerSlam Superstar Shakeup. And as I said in my predictions video, maybe they'll move Goldust over to SmackDown, give him something good to do. I would really like to see, Goldust get more TV time too, especially if he's cutting these great director's chair promos. I'm really loving it. And then we had our main event, which they got the main event right this week. It was Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns in a last man standing match. It wasn't the best last man standing match I've seen, but it was still a really good match between these two. These two work really well together. I feel like that this match could have been signaling the end of their like one-on-one rivalry pretty much. They've been fighting since Strowman costed Reigns his match at the Royal Rumble. They had a match at Fastlane, and Reigns faced Taker, and they had a match again at Payback. Strowman wasn't there for Extreme Rules. They had their ambulance match, and now it's like they're just wrapping up their one-on-one feud, but they still will face each other at SummerSlam. And it was a great match. Physicality with the steel steps, the Superman punches and all that. There was one spot in the match where Braun Strowman actually jumped in the air and did kind of like a double drop kick to like the chest, similar how like Finn Balor does. And I'm like, it cracks you up because before the brand split. Braun Strowman was one of those big guys who was just like a brick wall, could barely do anything, could barely move. And then after the brand split, they really, let him show off his agility, and it's just unreal. They used steel steps. They also my favorite spot of the match actually was whenever Strowman just like chucked one of the chairs at Roman and knocked him out. I'm just like, dang, Braun. That was something different. See, he also threw Roman into the stage a little bit, and he had speared Braun, and it looked like that Roman was closing in on the match, but then Samoa Joe came out of nowhere, and he put the Coquina clutch on Roman Reigns, choked him out, but Braun Strowman was able to get up, get the pinfall again. I would have been nice if it was clean, but still, it was still a good match. I'm glad to see that Braun won. Again, it would be nice to see him win clean, but, you got to get some tension going, continuing between, Roman and Joe and Braun. So, Joe pretty much kept saying to Braun at the end of the match, like, you're next, you're still in my way or whatnot. But yes, decent, good main event. Wasn't the best last man standing match I've seen, but I enjoyed it. Yeah, so sorry I kind of like rushed and rambled in this one. I'm a little tired, but I wanted to get this review done with. But overall, again, Raw was kind of an average show. Some stuff I enjoyed, some stuff I didn't really enjoy. If I had to give it a grade, I'd give it a solid C. I mean, I enjoyed Miz TV. The women's triple threat matches were all right. Bayley, though, also, if I didn't mention before, Bayley was getting booed, though, when she was talking. And it just shows how badly WWE has booked her. And I don't really care too much about her anymore. But her being away for a while is going to, be refreshing when she comes back. Hopefully by then, probably she'll start a feud with Sasha Banks, and Sasha will be the heel. I'm interested to see that happen when Bayley gets back. But overall, there wasn't really much else I really enjoyed. I liked the main event. I liked the Gold Dust promo. I like the stuff with Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. Could have swapped opponents that way. Rollins wasn't facing Sheamus for the second week in a row. But yeah, overall, average episode. I give it a C. What grade would you give Raw tonight? Leave your thoughts in the comment section in the live chat. And before we go off the air, I will check my Twitter poll here really quick to see what grade people are giving Raw tonight. Let's go on to Twitter. Wow, I only got 4 votes so far for my Twitter poll, and nobody said D. We got 50% A, 25% B, 25% C. So people seem to still enjoy Raw. Again, I enjoyed it for what it was. It wasn't terrible. It was just average, But that is it, guys. Please leave your thoughts down in the comment section. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button for more content coming to this channel. Follow me on Twitter at DemandAirboy93. And stay tuned as tomorrow night I will be back up here live for my live SmackDown Live review. Should be another solid show. Looking forward to seeing the aftermath of Shinsuke Nakamura and John Cena. A bunch of other things to enjoy. SmackDown is in its recovery stage, getting back on track after the horrid road to Battleground. But we will see. So thanks again for joining in, guys. Again, follow me on Twitter, DemandAirboy93. Stay tuned tomorrow night for my live SmackDown review. And with that, guys, I will see you all later.